Hey guys, before we get started on this episode, just wanted to remind you that the Golden State with Mates Patreon is now live with up to 5 bonus podcast episodes every week, along with a few in-depth written articles covering the Warriors and the NBA. After giving away a brand new Nike Stephen Curry jersey earlier in the month, I'm now giving away a brand new copy of NBA 2K26 in the month of November on your choice of platform for the winner that will be drawn among Best Mate members. If you haven't checked it out already, I'll leave a link in the description. It'd be great if you could check it out. Welcome back to the Golden State with Mates post-game live after the Warriors lose to the Houston Rockets 104-100 at Chase Center on Wednesday night. Final NBA Cup game. Who really cares? I do care about the result of this game. It must be said. It's not often I'm frustrated and angry. I like to think I try and keep a level head with this kind of stuff, but I don't know how you don't win that game. Seriously, like Houston are without Kevin Durant. They're without Steven Adams. They're without Tari Eason. They're without Dorian Finney-Smith. And the Warriors are getting cooked by Reed Shepherd. I don't know. Some of this stuff has to stop in terms of the Warriors' inability to stop like any capable guard. Like, seriously, we've seen it with Ryan Rollins. We've seen it with Quentin Jackson. Now we see it with Reed Shepherd. Who was it the other night? I'm trying to remember the other guard that went off a couple of games ago against the Warriors. It's escaping me because it's such a nobody that I can't remember it. But like Reed Shepherd's good, right? Reed Shepherd is a talented prospect, 3rd overall pick in the draft for a reason. But man, can we stop someone, please? Like, can we stop someone on the perimeter? And Reed Shepherd, credit to him, got the job done. The Portland game, it was it's generally the name's escaping me. Caleb Love had 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Oh, this is depressing. Seriously, this is legitimately depressing. I don't know if there's any positives to really take from this game aside from Will Richard was good, 18 points in a start again. Draymond defensively on Şengün was excellent again. Houston shot less than 40% from the floor, 28.2% from three-point range, and somehow, again, without Adams, got 25 offensive boards, which this is the thing. When you've got a team that is historically one of the greatest, if not the greatest offensive rebounding team of all time, coming up against a team as small as the Warriors, it feels like this is inevitable. Steph hobbles off late with an injury, which adds salt to the wound. I will say I think there's a chance Steph misses Saturday's game against the Pelicans. We'll wait and see. He's going to get an MRI. They're calling it a quad contusion, which to me, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it happened on the play with a few minutes to go where Thompson was called for a charge and the Rockets got it overturned and Thompson kind of fell on Steph and Steph took a while to get up and was kind of hobbling. And a quad contusion to me is like a corky where it's like you get knee or something in the thigh or the quad and it's basically a deep bruise. I don't think that's a structural injury, which is the best news because a structural injury would tend to suggest that he could be out for a while. So to me, it's more of like a deep bruise and those things can hurt. You know, you go and get someone to just go up and knee in the thigh, like that'll hurt. That will hurt and have you hobbling for a while. So there's a chance that he misses some time, but I don't think it's a huge, huge concern, albeit you never want to see Steph hobbling around and injured. And yeah, just another piece to add on to the disastrous performance that this was from the Warriors. You lead by 14 in the second half. I really have no words aside from real frustration and anger. Like, if you can't beat this Houston team without KD and Adams and Eason and Finney-Smith on your home floor, when, okay, Kuminga's out, that's something, and I suppose Kuminga being there would have helped, particularly on the rebounding side of things, but man, like, you just got to win that game. Come on. Like, it's just frustrating, and I don't know where the positives come from outside of Richard. Moody shot the ball poorly again. I thought Draymond was pretty good in this game, but again, he had 4 turnovers. Steph had 7 turnovers. I thought Steph was pretty poor even before the injury in the fourth quarter. He ends up 14 points, 4 of 13 shooting, 2 of 9 from three-point range. Jimmy's really interesting because if the Warriors win this game, you say Jimmy played really well. This is kind of what Jimmy Butler is. He's a really consistent, like what does he have in this game? Like 21, he has 21, 5, and 5. Just a classic Jimmy Butler game where if you win the game, everyone's like, wow, what a great Jimmy Butler game. Just so efficient, 6 of 11 shooting, got to the free throw line 7 times, perfect 7 of 7. Classic Jimmy Butler game. But when they lose in a manner such as this, particularly when they only put up 100 points, you do question, like, could Jimmy Butler have done more in that game? In a very similar manner as to when the Warriors obviously faced the Timberwolves in the second round last season. And Steph goes down. And Jimmy put up 20 points a game, wasn't horrifically bad, but just like didn't at the same time do what was required to allow the Warriors to extend the series and potentially get Steph back for a game 6. So it's really interesting how this Jimmy Butler stuff is framed because he's been excellent, right? I think like he has been excellent, but there's games like this where it's like, can we get more than 21, 5, and 5 from him? Can he take more than 11 field goal attempts? I don't know. GP2 goes out injured after just 5 minutes. Post, 1 of 6 from three-point range. Would have been nice if you could. His confidence, they were mentioning on the ESPN broadcast, his confidence is down. Again, I thought his defense at times was okay. He had 5 rebounds, 3 steals. I thought he was okay on the defensive end again, but he's got to be making shots at the end of the day. Buddy Hield, we can't have nice things. We cannot have nice things with Buddy Hield. Had a really good game, right, in the win 2 days ago. And then again, 15 minutes, 0 of 4, 0 of 3, absolutely no impact. Well, negative impact, it must be said. And Pods, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, sounds okay. The missed free throws in the final minutes just were an absolute killer. Just an absolute energy-sapping, momentum-killing play where he goes to the free throw line, misses the first way short, misses the second way short, but they call a lane violation. So he gets a third attempt, and of course he goes strong on the third attempt. Goes 0. It'll only go down in the scorebook because 0 of 2, but he essentially went 0 of 3. That just kills you. Anyway, let's get into some comments from you guys here because I can't hang around for very long. Empire says trade Pods, Moody, JK, GP2, and Buddy, just everyone. just everyone. Well, that can get you up to a $40+ million player. Let's so you wait and see what happens there. Then Decker, they suck 10-10. 500 team right now, and they got to find some momentum. Big dog, small ball has to go, and Pods. I was shocked they didn't start posting this game. I think they just decided that Draymond matches up really well with Şengün, and you know what? The first round of the playoffs proved that last season, and this game proved it as well. Şengün shot 7 of 18 from the floor. Now, I think if Adams was playing and Adams was starting, then certainly I think Post would have started. But I think with Şengün at the center spot, they probably felt comfortable with Green, and I don't hate that. It's just like the rebounding has to be a lot better, and as much as you understand why Draymond's guarding Şengün, the rebounding differential is still a huge, huge problem. Robbie says, why did it take so long to put Post back in? He played 22 minutes in this game. Less than 22 minutes. Should he have played more? Don't know, mate. Like, the Warriors were still getting out-rebounded with him on the floor, and he just wasn't making shots. So, I don't know. I just like his size. I think he's actually semi-disruptive at the rim now, using his size. I've said it for a few weeks now. I think he should be playing more than 22 minutes in a game like that. Fennec says, we were up 14, then choked the lead. Let's remember KD, Steven Adams, and Fred VanVleet didn't play. Yeah, well, I didn't even mention VanVleet. I'm not even mentioning him in general because he's like going to be most likely out for the year. So, but yes, you are completely right. Like, that's a $25 million player just sitting on the sidelines. Like, if you think about it, the Rockets had, what, $70 million sitting on the sidelines in this? No, more than that, $85 million. Like, you got Van Vliet, KD. In fact, more than that, like 100, near 100. What's KD on? Like 45, 50? KD's on like 50, right? Van Vliet, 25. Okay, Finney Smith's on like 15 million a year. Adams on like 10. Easton is going to get, obviously not on much now, but he's going to get an extension, you'd imagine, as a restricted free agent, like 20 million a year. Like, and you can't win that game? Come on. Empire says Curry might miss some games. We're going to be worse than mid. At least we got the Pels on Saturday. Like, they could still be favourites for that game, even with Steph out. But we'll wait and see. Empire says GP2 is never healthy. GP2 and Buddy need to be the first to go. I don't know what you do with, like, is there a minimum contract player around the league that you could trade for and give up a pick or something for GP2, a rookie contract player? I don't know. Also, the refs are shameless. Then it says that call on Steph was just awful. Which one? The overturn? Because they had obviously the Thompson one, and then they had the offensive foul call on Aaron Holiday as well shortly after that. And the issue with Steph is, and I think I tweeted this out a couple of weeks ago, he's the worst charge drawer of all time because God bless his soul, I love that man. He's the GOAT, right? But I'm not trying to diss Steph Curry, but he doesn't want to take contact. Okay, he's small, right? I get it. Like, I'd probably be the same too. But if he has like a Men Thompson, coming at him like that, he actually gets his feet in the like he's kind of there, but then he doesn't want to take the contact like fully in the chest. And to me, if he didn't kind of wrap his arm around Thompson like he did, I know they'll say, oh, he was moving and that's why they called the block. I just think, well, that's why they overturned it to the block. I just think if he kind of just falls down, sells the contact, and doesn't like wrap Thompson around and also bring Thompson down with him, then I think that doesn't get overturned, right? Because I think they just look at the absolute initial contact, which was like Thompson really leaning in with the shoulder, right? Which is, you could argue, well, they should have just looked at that first play anyway and not really cared about like Steph putting his arm around him afterwards. But I just don't think Steph sells contact very well, largely because he doesn't want to take the contact. He kind of gets into a position where it's like, yeah, I want to take a charge. Here I am. And then I'm like, at the last second, I'm like, I don't really want to. This guy's like 6'7", 6'8", big guy. I'm 6'2", 6'3". I don't really want to take it fully in the chest. And I can understand he's a superstar level player. I don't think we want Steph Curry to be out there drawing charges all day. But if that was like, I don't know what else he does in that situation, because what's the alternative if he's not there trying to either just give up the blocking foul, or like there's times where he has to reach, I suppose, and tries to take a risk, or you just almost hop out of the way and hope Draymond's there for some help defense. I don't know. Buddy, 16 minutes, 0 points. Why is he on the court? Guess as good as mine. Small ball has to go on. Pod's got to be benched. Steve Kerr just might have got Steph hurt with small ball. Empire says his injury looked bad. He could barely sit. Also, the refs are shameless. That call on Steph was just awful. Sorry, I've mentioned that before. Buddy needs to be benched. Pods can't have over 15 minutes. Post needs to play even more. I'm glad you guys are on the post bandwagon, even that he needs to play more, even though he shot 1 of 6 in this game, which is kind of what I've been saying for weeks. He needs to play more, not because of his offense, but because of his defense, which is weird to say if you said that at the start of the season, but it's actually just true. If we can't beat the Pelicans without Steph in the season, Empire says the whole bench needs to be traded except for Post and Will. This shows that on January 15, when JK can be traded, they need to do something. The thing with me is, like, there's nothing really materializing. I just wonder how desperate they get. Because, like, I don't like Sabonis, right? I don't want to trade for Sabonis. I have no interest in that. But if this team's 500, right, and you can say, here's Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, for Domantas Sabonis and Keon Ellis or something around that mark, right? Then it's almost just like if you're a just above 500 team, it's like, why the hell not at that point? It's like, you might as well. That was part of the Butler trade, is that like I had the same concerns about Butler this time last year. And I was like, oh, I don't really like want to make that move. But it got to the point where it's like, if you're going to be that desperate, I don't think Butler, well, I don't think Sabonis, well, I know that Sabonis doesn't have the winning history of Butler, and that's why I'm probably going to be, I'm less keen on Sabonis than I was Butler last year, even though I wasn't really in on Butler. So, yeah, I just wonder how desperate they get at this point. But we've still got plenty, like, you're going to see another 30, 40 games. Kuminga and Melton both scrimmaged today with Santa Cruz before this game against the Rockets. So hopefully they'll be back in the next couple of weeks. The problem is you're hoping DeAnthony Melton comes back and he's like his optimal level as a perimeter defender to guard some of these guys. Like, it's ridiculous. And obviously you just can't rely on that. Thandex says we had 6-7 players who scored double digits, but even that didn't seem right. I know get Steve Kerr. We played good previous game because we went big today. Decided to go small, 25 offensive rebounds. We couldn't get anything. Robbie, we need Herb Jones or Keon Ellis. Actual good point of attack defenders. Ellis should be cheap. Sorry, I've lost the comment. Ellis should be cheap because the Kings don't let him play with their 6 guards. I wonder if I think if the Warriors are going to trade Kuminga to the Kings, I think Ellis has to be involved in the trade, regardless of, he's almost like the primary piece you're getting back. And then is it like DeRozan? Is it Sabonis? Like, I almost think they're the key piece, but I think Ellis shouldn't go under the, like, he has to be in the trade, regardless of who the other guy is. So far, it seems like the Warriors can only win if Curry drops 35, says Empire. Big Dog says the media doesn't ask Steve Kerr tough enough questions. He needs to explain this. MRC, Jimmy was good, bum Şengün. Baz says Steph ran into a Şengün screen. Yeah, I missed that. Yes, he did. Which I'm not sure if he already looked banged up a little bit after that fall with Thompson. But could have been multiple things. Again, it would suggest to me that it's not a structural, like, he wasn't just running along and pulled up lame, like, so it's not a structural thing, which is I think Steve's already said, like, Steve's like, I like the fact that it's a quad and not a knee or an ankle. It's less concerning than what it otherwise could be. Moody's been playing bad since that 30-point game. Yep. No, not enough consistency from everyone outside of Steph and Jimmy, essentially. We were 1 for 19 from 3 in the second half. That's awful. We need Jimmy to give 25 to 30 points every game. Jimmy's just never really been that kind of guy. Like, that's just facts. If you look at what he's averaged on his career, has he ever averaged 25 points a game in his career? I'm not sure he has. I'm just having a look now. Jimmy Butler, 23.9 is his career high with the Bulls in 2016-17, 22.9 with the Heat. So this is just who he is. This is flat out who he is. And then come playoff time, you might get a little bit more, even though we kind of didn't see that in the second round last season. So, Post not starting was okay. Him playing with 4 guards was not. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. I heard that quote once or twice. Keon Ellis is on a minimum. GP2 and a pick for him or give him pods. GP2 and a pick for Keon Ellis. I would like that. I'm not sure the Kings would. I think the Kings would want some kind of value. I can only see Keon. I don't think the Kings would trade Keon Ellis to the Warriors unless they were getting Kuminga as part of the deal. Now, obviously, they make super different salaries, so there has to be other stuff included. Mr. Goat, this Warriors team is straight pathetic. You lose to the Rockets without Kevin Durant. This Warriors team is not good. We just lost to the Rockets at home. Embarrassing. Sums up my sentiment from this game. King Hudson Kerr about to retire. Big Dog says Curry was just jacking up threes. He got to play better. I think that's Some of his threes down the stretch were because he was clearly hampered by injury. Man, Curry injured is going to tank us. Hopefully, Jimmy can step up. Hopefully, I think there's a chance Kuminga might be back on Saturday. I'm just floating it out there. I think there's a chance because they've got practice on Friday. I wouldn't be shocked if Kuminga's back. I think Sabonis can be better on a team that ain't the Kings, lol, but I get the hesitation. Yeah, no, fair point. There's a Kings tax with all of this where you've got to kind of look at all their players and suggest that, hey, maybe they can be better out of the Sacramento environment, which has just been a losing franchise for essentially 25 years nearly, at least 20. So I understand that point of view. You got to trade pods before you trade Moody. Come on, mate. I probably tend to agree. I think part of the reason is because does Pod still have more value than Moody? I don't know. I don't know. Probably not, actually. Depends what you can get back, obviously. Will says something struck me this morning. What is the possibility that they decide to bring back Clay along with Daniel Gafford? Not saying it's a good move, but what's the trade? Because those guys make a combined just over $30 million. So it's like Kuminga going out and Buddy Hield for like Gafford and Clay. Maybe. Maybe. I don't see Warriors winning a championship before Curry retires, so why not start the rebuild now? Because you get to watch Steph Curry for another couple of years. That's why you don't start the rebuild now. I think that's I agree with you. I'd find it very, very unlikely that the Warriors win another championship with Steph Curry. However, he's the greatest player in franchise history. He's probably going to remain the greatest player in franchise history for the rest of my lifetime. I'm okay with saying to myself, you know what? Steph's not going to lift another Larry O'Brien trophy, but I'm happy. I get to still watch him play for another 2-3 years at a pretty high level. And if the Warriors can give him an opportunity to make a playoff round or two and deliver some big time Steph Curry performances and more audacious shot making and all this stuff that comes with Steph Curry, I'm kind of okay with that. Robbie says, really wish I wasn't thinking about trades in November. At least we have Will Richard, one bright spot. Yeah, positive Will Richard game. But even his, this is the problem. Steve Kerr, and they were talking about it on the broadcast again. It's like Steve Kerr's still trying to work out everyone from 4 down. Who's this team's fourth best player? Seriously. So it's Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, and then who's the fourth best player? Because it could be anyone on any given night. It probably should be Kuminga. It was Kuminga for the first 7 or 8 games. He kind of falls off a cliff and then gets injured. Moody looks good sometimes and looks like the fourth guy. Then he'll just fall off a cliff. Pods wants to have taken the leap to become the fourth guy, but hasn't. I don't know. I don't know who the fourth best player on this team is. It wouldn't shock me if we're here in March and DeAnthony Melton is the fourth best guy on the team, and he has played 44 games in the last 2 years. Just wouldn't shock me. So I don't know. I'm going to finish it up there, guys, because I got to get going. These kind of times are frustrating me now with the time differences and stuff because it's dinner time essentially. I'm going to go organize myself some dinner and sit down and watch Stranger Things. I've been looking forward to it for the last week, and it's going to provide me some joy and entertainment that the Warriors were not able to provide in this game. So disappointing is what it is. Thanks to those of you that have tuned in. Thanks to those of you that are watching on the replay or listening via the podcast feed. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel already, please do so. You can follow me at POC252. That's POK252 on X/Twitter. Golden State with Mates, TikTok and Instagram as well. Warriors play Saturday against the Pelicans. Might be back for another episode then, or another live stream then. Bonus episode coming to those on the Patreon tomorrow as well, with another recap of this game and potentially some more trade chatter as well. Thanks again, guys.